Today we're looking at the best hybrids from each faction. I'm gonna be honest, I had to do some thinking on this one because there is a lot of hybrids in this game and they all are pretty good. But starting with the Knights faction, for this pick I would have to go with, you guys may be surprised with me saying this, but Lawbringer. Yes, Lawbringer. And that's because he has some of the best punishes in the game. So I know my Lawbringer looks pretty plain. I'm not spouting out nonsense. I've played Lawbringer for a very long time. All my reps are just in another account. But on the other side of that, I wouldn't consider myself an expert on this character because I have never mained this character. I just had a lot of experience playing this character on the side since release. With that being said, this will all depend on your playstyle. I'm a more defensive player, so I like to parry a lot, turtle up, and wait till the perfect time to attack. That playstyle might not be for everybody because you gotta play a lot slower than most characters on this game if you're playing Lawbringer. So Lawbringer has pretty basic attacks. You can throw heavy, throw another one, and end the third one with an unblockable. This is really nice. But the best thing about Lawbringer is his punishes after the parries. So I'm gonna get a parry in, press the heavy attack, then I can do heavy, and then a light tap in. So I can get a parry in, press the heavy attack, then a light attack, and you can get a ton of damage in that way. This is one of the best punishes in the game, and if you can land your parries and get this off, you can simply end it with a light attack just to stun him and really do anything you want. So I did that move from the overhead, but if you go from the side, you can actually jab him and drive him forward, which this is okay. If you land this, you can actually ledge people that way. And another nice thing is if you get the tap in, you can go ahead and end it with an unblockable. This is kind of crazy because you can keep people on their toes that way. You could even come from the side. So we can parry, light attack, come from the side, and even feint, maybe go into the guard break, go back into the shove. And that's another thing that's really nice for Lawbringer as well, is the shove. The shove is another thing. You can apply as much pressure as you want. I wouldn't spam this move, but you can throw it in every now and then to throw people off, and maybe even bait them to dodge to get a guard break. As far as feats, Lawbringer isn't too unique, but he has some that pair well with his moveset, like Righteous Deflection. This is a passive, and you gain high damage reduction for a short time after you land a parry. This is perfect because you have those high damage parry punishes, and once you get those off, you'll have the high damage reduction. And another thing that's kind of crazy with Lawbringer is you can stack the third and fourth feat and have several grenades to throw. They all do moderate damage. You just have so many, so you can spam these if you want. Pretty fun to do with Lawbringer. I had to do a lot of thinking. Once again, this faction is really good all around. You got Valkyrie, and then you got Highlander. And I know I've done this to Valkyrie once already in my previous video, but I simply have to pick Highlander over Valkyrie. And this simply because of the moveset. I like Valkyrie, she is a very good character, but Highlander, all around, he's just pound for pound a better hero. This time we can start with his feat because he has the fourth feat, Spearstorm. He doesn't have the best feats out of the DLC characters, but he has some that do pretty good damage, like the Spearstorm. If you land this on people, it does a ton of damage. People can't really get out of it once they start to get hit by it. Then you got Champion's Aura. You gain an aura which heals you and your nearby allies. This moves with you, so it's basically like a stalwart banner that you can take with you. And then you can put on the Fire Flask if you want. You know, he's a Viking, he has to have that. And he has second wind. You can't go wrong with having more health. I would say overall, Highlander's feats are better than average, and that's just my opinion. When it comes to his moveset, Highlander is a super unique character. He has two different modes. You have your normal mode, and then you have your offensive mode. And in this mode, you can dodge a lot faster, and your light attacks are a lot quicker. You go into this mode by holding the heavy attack and then just letting it go for unblockable. From this mode, you can also simply press the guard break button, go into a kick, but if you hold back and then press guard break, he'll actually grab the opponent and throw him to the ground, and you can finish him off with an unblockable heavy. You can go to the kick and then go into the grab. This will throw people off. I'm telling you, it gets me all the time. So once you grab them and throw them to the ground, you can actually let it go, hold it again, press X, let it go, and keep this going. And this little grab has some range, so you can do some damage with this. Highlander also has some crushing counters. You have to swing in the direction though. As you can see, I missed the first one, but if you time it up right, you can land it. But that's why I had to put Highlander in the slot. A character that I do not play is insanely good. I just don't play him because he doesn't fit my playstyle. So this section is going to be more of my opinion rather than my experience because I only played Nobushi a good amount. I haven't played Armusha that much. I just don't like this character. And then same goes with Kyoshin. I just don't like this character. But I have a feeling if I had this character unlocked, I would probably think Kyoshin would be the best out of these three heroes, just from the moves and feats that he has. But in this case, if you don't have these guys unlocked like I don't, you obviously would have to go with Nobushi. Nobushi isn't too bad of a hero. A lot of people think she's weak, but I'm going want to tell you right now, I have ran into some insanely good Nobushis, and they are a very, very good character. And she is a very good character, especially in 4v4 modes. She's more of a support hero with a stalwart banner, speed revive, things like that. She doesn't have a lot of health, but she does have the ability to deal a lot of damage. If I dodge and press the light attack, as you can see, it will already do bleed damage. This is pretty crazy. Not to mention, if you have somebody that's playing with Shaman, all you have to do is do that, and then Shaman literally can do her blood trance and jump on them. This is kind of crazy if you pair it in 4v4 modes. But anyways, you could actually dodge backwards and press the light attack, and she'll do this like weird poke. It's kind of crazy, but it does bleed, and it doesn't activate on the first time with me for some reason. But if you dodge backwards, press light attack, she'll do it. And I'm not able to reach Kyoshin, but sometimes you can throw people off and bait them and get them with that little stab, you know. Anytime you throw a heavy, you can actually follow up with a kick and then follow that up with some light attacks. This will do a bleed effect. Same goes if you throw a single light attack, but you can actually pair all these together. You can actually do the kick after any attack. This is what makes Nobushi so good. You don't want to spam it, but you can keep people on their toes because you want to show that you have the kick. So the next time they expect you to do it, you can just not do it, get the guard break, then hit him with a heavy and maybe kick him again. She's just so fun to play. And one more thing that I want to mention is you could throw a zone attack and it'll end up with having 2 attacks, but you can actually cancel this in the middle and maybe do a guard break, or like I showed you before, go right into another kick and maybe follow it up with some more kicks. Who knows? She's a really good character to apply pressure with people, and she also could play real defensive if she needs to. So if you don't have Aramusha or Kyoshin unlocked and you want to play a hybrid, she's not too bad of a pick. So for the Wulin, it's going to be a bit biased because I put more reps in with one hybrid than the other. I don't play Zanhu. I didn't play him in the past. I didn't play him on any of my other accounts. But Shaolin, I played a lot. And it may be because he's so flashy. His moves look nice and stuff. But honestly, overall, in 4v4 modes, I really like his playstyle because you can throw people off a lot. Now, that's not to say you can't do it with Zanhu, but I feel like he's a lot more predictable than Shaolin. But first of all, let's look at the feats. Blessed Projection. Shift to a teammate quickly and help them. This feat is just insane. And then he also has Scout and Slippery. And you also have an ability that allows you to heal from your key stance. So when you have Shaolin, all you have to do to go into the key stance is hold whatever button you use to attack. So if I want to go into a heavy attack key stance, I'm just going to hold the heavy attack. You do have to swing, so I would get some distance if you want to hold it before they come to you. It's the same case with Highlander. If you let it go, it'll finish out the attack. And as you can see, when I did the attack, it was blue. That means it's undodgeable. So if this Kyoshin was to try to dodge, he would get hit by it anyways. You can actually do it from the upward position and it'll be undodgeable as well. You can actually feint this if you want, go into the guard break. So if you get into the key stance and you land any type of attack, you can finish that off with a sweep, no matter if it's a light attack or a heavy attack. So I'm going to go into the key stance, kick, light attack, guard break, and you can finish him off like that. And when he's on the ground, you can actually press the heavy attack again to get another attack in. So you can go into the key stance, X, guard break, and finish him off with a heavy. And one thing about Shaolin that I really enjoy is the way he's animated. It's so easy to get mixed up in his animations, especially when you get to feinting, you don't know what's gonna come next. And when you land a light attack, you can actually follow it up with 3 attacks. This is one of my favorite things to do, and it has to be one of the most satisfying attacks in the game. To do this, you have to do it from the side though. So for the Outlanders, it was so difficult to pick the hero I was gonna pick for this one because all of the Outlanders are hybrids. It just depends on what playstyle you want to play with. Like Aphira, she's a relentless rushdown mix-up intensive character, but for 4v4 modes, Ocelot is simply a disabler and a ganker. This man specializes in ganking. That's just what he does. And that's why I have to pick him for this slot. Right off the top, Huntsman Spirit. It's a passive. You become a spirit upon dying, slowly returning to life. Spirits can move undetected but cannot attack. So this means you can die, run around while you're dead, and spawn right next to a point and hop on that point and begin to heal yourself. You can control where you spawn. Yes, you don't have full health. At the same time, do you need it? You're still there to fight at least a little bit. That's insane. If you had to go against a full team of Ocelots that knew what they were doing, it would be so toxic, I promise you, you would want to leave. That's what makes this character so insane. And all his feats are stacked towards giving him benefits once he gets the kill. So enemies that you kill are marked for a short time, their location is revealed, and they take extra damage. And then on the third one, you also gain extra attack damage and increases your speed. These two stack with each other, and then on top of that, you have one that's insane right off the top, and then you're going to end it with the Trapper's Reach. You can throw a spear to damage and bleed foes, pulling them into a guard break only usable in guard mode. This is simply a fourth beat to help you in the 1v1 fights. So overall, Ocelot's probably the most insane character in the game right now, and it's obvious because he is the newest. I mentioned this in my other videos. The newer characters in this game will always be the best. And I know you might say, duh, it's like that in most games, but you really notice it in For Honor. Yes, he's went through a nerf that makes him more balanced compared to the other heroes now, but he is overall a great character. And this Huntsman Spirit works just like how it's supposed to. You can just spawn back wherever you want. I'm speaking so highly of Ocelot, and I haven't even gotten to his moveset yet. He does have some abilities that are kind of predictable, but if you use them the right way, I'm telling you, it'll get the job done. If you throw a heavy attack, you can actually follow this up with a bash. Same goes for a light attack. If you throw it unblockable, it's actually uninterruptible. This is pretty interesting because you can just fling an uninterruptible attack anytime you want. You cannot feint this move, so once you throw it, that's that. You can actually hold back on the right analog stick, throw a heavy attack, hit a lunge, and get a heavy attack in. You can actually follow that up with another unblockable heavy attack. This unblockable heavy attack at the end can actually be feinted so that you can start another combo. But with all these heavy hitting attacks, don't be fooled. Ocelot is still a hybrid. He still can move pretty quick. He has some pretty quick dodge light attacks that allow you to dodge past attacks and get some damage in. This is why overall I have to pick Ocelot or the Outlander slot. If this video helped you out, if you learned something new about some of these characters in For Honor, let me know by hitting that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 10K, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.